No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way.
He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend.
Talking on it though, then
He
you
a
can't put it up
legend.
later.
Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of idols. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of idols.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Michael, aka Pikel, and I have a new video segment that I wanted to try out. It's going to be a little bit quicker than the other analysis that we do. If you want to look at an in-depth game-by-game breakdown, you can check out the DFS Bachelor's channel. We did one of those today for the 6-game slate. And then I'll probably also do a live stream later tonight around 10, 11, or 12, so just make sure that you watch out for it on Twitter. I'll be live streaming on Twitch. But for this video, we're going to look at last night's games. It's going to be called About Last Night. A little scandalous, I know, but too bad. That's what I want to do. So basically, I plugged in the results from last night into my sheet. One of the tabs in my sheet has projections, so I basically just took the results from last night, replaced the projections with the actual results. And then I'm going to create a separate sheet that has all of the lineups that are stacks that would have done well last night. So if you take a look at the first lineup here, we have Huanfeng, Bin, Kanavi, Angel, Loken, Sword Art, and JDG. That might look familiar, and the reason it probably looks familiar is because that was the first place lineup that chopped like 40 ways. It chopped 40 ways in the $4 contest, and then let me just make sure the other contest. So we have first place in the $4 was 60.9, and that's not it. $660.9 and $660.9. So in the Titans Fury, this chopped 40 times, and in the $4 contest, it chopped 16 times. So the reason I wanted to do this video is to take a look at that kind of lineup and see if there were any possible ways to improve this lineup based on the scoring from last night. So an easy way to do that on this sheet is just by highlighting the top like 2 scorers and seeing if there's any way to move back and forth between the two. So we have Kingen from Billy Billy Gaming and Bin. Then we have Kanavi, who had a big night. He's already included in the lineup. Then we have S of M, where maybe if we get some additional salary savings, we can pivot to something that's better. We have Angel, who's already included in the lineup. And then Yagao, who would provide some, who would not provide any salary savings. Then we have Huanfeng, Zinmo, and Sword Art. And then we have Billy Billy Gaming with 59 points as a team, and JDG has 59 points for the team. So one thing to notice here is that just because the winning stack comes from sunning, the team didn't come from sunning. And the reason that can happen is because of the games not played bonuses. So sunning had to play all 3 games, and that limited the upside of the team. Billy Billy Gaming and JDG both won 2-0, so they have that additional upside. So again, if we take a look at the top lineup, we have JDG already. We don't have Zinmo or Shinmo. I don't know how to say his name. If I'm butchering it, my bad. But we have Huanfeng as a correct captain. The second highest scoring AD carry was Loken. Loken's already included. We have Angel, who is the top scoring mid laner. We have Kanavi, who is the top scoring jungler. And then we have Bin, who is the top scoring top. So I mean, just looking at this, obviously we could have differentiated ourselves here and actually had a higher upside. So do I think it makes sense to swap from Zinmo to Sword Art 1-for-1, creating like a three It would be a 3-3-1 stack. Just from a salary savings perspective and an expected value of the team, obviously we don't want to do that. But if you want to differentiate yourself and give yourself a little bit of additional upside, I could definitely see making this move. How would that work? So yeah, I mean, it's really a 1-for-1. The optimal lineup would have had Shinmo in it. So I guess that's basically it. The number we're looking to beat was 660.9, and this would have given us like 661.2 or something like that, or 662.2. So it's just a way to kind of think to yourself, if I'm running out 150 lineups in something like the Titans Fury, sometimes you need to make a lower EV play in order to give yourself a little bit of extra upside. That one specifically is really tough to be able to convince yourself of, because you would assume that with Sword Art's AD carry being the number one scorer on the night, that he would be involved in a lot of that scoring. So it's a pretty unlikely outcome that Zinmo scores more than Sword Art, but that's what we saw last night. So before we get out of here, I guess I could talk about how the rest of the matchups went. So JDG beat Rogue Warriors, but if you watched my streams going on later in the day or checked out some of my other videos, you would have saw that I was somewhat concerned with how the jungle matchups would play out, because when you have two carry top laners who play against each other, once one of them falls behind, it really puts a damper on their aggression, and they cannot make the plays that endear them to fans. So when Haro is behind against a passive jungler, he can still create tempo and he can still force issues on the other jungler, because they're not looking to make plays necessarily, or they're not looking to make kills and get ganks and stuff like that. Obviously, if the opportunity presents itself, all professional junglers have the ability to do that, but their default setting is not all the same. So I would say Haro in that matchup specifically was outplayed. The Nidalee game in game one, the fact that Kanavi plays Nidalee increases his upside but decreases his team's upside, because we are going to get into games where you'll go 15 or 20 minutes into the game without a kill happening, which is what happened yesterday. So he was creating advantages around the map, limiting the upside of Haro without scoring a lot of DraftKings points for us. So that's one thing to watch out for. In the Vici Gaming versus Sunning matchup, not very surprising. We'll look at the contest standings. Huanfeng was 25%. He was very popular. The least popular team was Rogue Warriors, which kind of makes sense. Then Billy Gaming was low. So Sunning was the most popular favorite last night, and that ended up hitting. But only their 80 carried like a huge amount of percentage. Angel was pretty popular as well. So if we go back to the other sheet, Sunning against VG Gaming, we knew that it had the upside, just depending on who won. I liked Sunning's upside if they were going to win that matchup more than VG Gaming's upside if they were going to win. It's tough to project the game scripts that are going to happen. When you have an underdog who wins, they will probably have a higher amount of kills than the favorite, because they're less likely to make the correct call in a macro position. So like when in the first game, I think, of Billy Gaming versus LGD, you saw Billy Gaming win like a random fight somewhere on the map, and then they just ended the game instantly. When you're a bad team, it's more difficult for you to know that that's the correct call and then execute the correct call. So that's one thing to watch out for. In terms of Sunning versus VG Gaming, yeah, we knew that was a possibility. And then Billy Gaming versus LGD, as the day went on, I liked Billy Gaming more and more. A lot of it was because of the perceived ownership that LGD was going to get. There was a huge shift in public perception of LGD going into that matchup. If you had LGD against Billy Gaming 2 weeks ago, when Billy Gaming was on a win streak and LGD was losing, there's no way that LGD would be the favorites, and there's no way that they would be this heavily owned on DraftKings. So this is just like a convergence of like of two trends that kind of skewed ownership away from what it should have been. I think that even though Billy Gaming didn't get there last night in terms of being the highest scoring team, it's always good to try to figure out how does the underdog have a chance to win and why. And I think just based off of the people who are not actually watching the games falling in love with LGD, I think there is a lot to love with LGD, but it was a very scary spot with Billy Gaming because of their ability to play the macro. There's a lot of Billies and abilities. But yeah, so basically the things that I think we should take away from this is when two aggressive junglers play against each other, there is the risk that the game underperforms greatly, because once one of them gets a lead, the other guy is going to have to play from a position that he's not used to playing from. Two, underdogs may actually score more when they win these games if they're the ones dictating the pace and are unable to finish the game cleanly. That you should look at that on a team by team basis, because there are obviously favorites who win extremely hard as well. And then third, be careful falling in love with teams that are on win streaks or lose streaks, because a team is never as good as they look on a win streak, and they're never as bad as they look on a losing streak. So that's basically all the information that I have for you about last night. I hope you like the optimal lineup, which includes Zinmo. If you want to see more information like this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want access to my sheet, make sure to check me out on Patreon. We have a couple different tiers there for people, however they want to contribute. And otherwise, let me know what other kind of content you want to see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Also, lastly, I will be streaming tonight. Watch out for me on twitch.com. I'll post the link on Twitter. If you want some last-minute questions answered, look for me on Twitch.
No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way.
He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend.